A Friendzone Carol. A story by Joe Martino. Narrated by yours truly, Joe Martino. Don't worry, this one's gonna be different. I just know it. I say to my friend Sam. I'm really excited for my date with Alyssa. And yes, I know everybody calls me Edgar Allan Friendzone, and I seem to have the dating ability of a fat, hairless raccoon with a set of human teeth. But I feel like since I've gotten to know Alyssa for quite a while, I think she's gonna let me be her new husband. Sam clearly doesn't understand nor believe any of what I just said to her. Sam tries to bring my confidence down by telling me, listen, Edgar Allan Friendzone, you clearly haven't learned your lesson from Kaylin. You told me since the two of you went to the same school that she would be the one. But then she ended up putting a bullet through your heart like you were Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Man, you really thought that shit would go somewhere. She's a fucking majorette at her college, dude. She's sucking off each and every one of the football players like I suck the salami off of my Subway sandwiches. By the way, speaking of sucking, I gotta go back to my apartment. I have a little date night with a beautiful man, Brandon. Anyway, I hope things go well for you and Edgar, even though you're probably gonna get shut down like a damn shopping mall during COVID. Never say never, I say to Sam as she heads out for her date with Brandon. Big head ass Brandon could get any woman he wants, Brandon. If I only had a bit of the Riz Brandon has. I don't know how he does it, I think to myself. But whatever, I have a date with Alyssa to look forward to. Once Sam gets to the apartment, she opens the door to find Brandon. Sam immediately drops her things on the floor and jumps onto the other side of the couch. Then it lingered. Like it owed him money. Sam breathed in really hard. Then she exhales. Then Sam turned. Boeing jet engine. You could hear the friction building from miles and miles away. Like a pair of stress balls. Brandon's gorilla grip. Milky jello. Dripping like a car wash. Like the rough side of a sponge grazes the kitchen sink. At this point, Brandon every millimeter freshly greased baby's butt. Like an everyday migraine. M4 Sherman explosion. Sam looked at Brandon with a gleaming smile, then said, "Sharing is caring. Now I should go check on my friend Edgar. He said he had a date with Alyssa tonight." Brandon was all like, "Wait, Pookie Bear, does he know she's dating Alex?" "Yes, I know that, baby boy, but I'm really scared to tell him because his nickname is Edgar Allan Friendzone, and he tells me every day that Alyssa is the one that's finally going to date him. And every single time, I want to tell him that her and Alex are playing hanky-panky like two greasy pigs at a barn. But I'm afraid that he's going to take a Glock to his head because of the 73 other girls that curved him." Sam responds. Brandon then says, "Well, you better go over there and baby him before he finds out." That's when Brandon says, "See you soon, my love," Sam says, before she heads for Edgar's house. When Sam gets to Edgar's house, Edgar is getting ready for his date with Alyssa. Edgar looks at her like every girl he's ever interacted with looks at him, confused and kind of disgusted. "What in the world is all over you?" Edgar asks Sam. Sam then takes a big sigh and says, "Well, let's just say this winter will be anything but cold." I have no idea what any of that means, says Edgar. Well, of course you don't, because you're a fucking friend zone loser, says Sam. Oh, I'm not going to be Edgar Allan Friendzone anymore after tonight, says Edgar. How do I look? To be completely honest, you look like a fucking scrotum. What? No, I don't, Edgar says. Ha 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 ha! Scrotum, 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 Sam says. Then Edgar says, with a bit of confidence, well, I don't care what you think. Alyssa is going to be the girl that changes my Edgar Allan friends and reputation around here. Well, whatever you say, Edgar, Sam tells him. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta go back until it looks like a peachy pipe cleaner. I guess I'll see you around. Good luck. Wait, didn't you guys just do that like 15 minutes ago? Edgar asked Sam. Yeah, we did. But I think you're just jealous. 'Cause you have the charisma of a goddamn dead gopher, Sam tells Edgar. Well, I can't argue with you on that. I don't have any riz at all. But that will change today, my friend, Edgar says. Yeah, sure. It's gonna change, like a chameleon's colors, you rejection rodent rectum bitch. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Okay, Sam. See you soon too, I guess, Edgar tells her once she walks out the door. Just as Sam leaves, Edgar's phone starts ringing. It's a phone call from Alyssa. Edgar gets really excited, his heart bouncing like crazy. Hey, Edgar, Alyssa says. I'm really sorry, but I can't hang out with you tonight. I don't really feel the best. I think I have the flu or something. Edgar is absolutely devastated by this news, but he still keeps his composure and tells Alyssa, Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you're sick. I really hope you feel better soon. I really want to hang out with you sometime. Alyssa tells Edgar, Yeah, I'm so sorry I can't. We're definitely going to hang out soon. I promise. That gets Edgar's hopes up as he says, Feel better. I'll see you soon. Then he hangs up the phone. Then all of a sudden, Edgar starts second guessing himself. Something tells me Alyssa is not telling the truth, he thinks to himself. But back at Alyssa's house, little did Edgar know that Alyssa was absolutely not telling the truth. Alex was sitting on her bed like a damn St. Bernard. Alyssa tells Alex, I feel so bad for Edgar. How is he gonna find out that you and I are dating? Let him find out the hard way, Alex says. That motherfucker can't pull shit to save his life. If relationships were gunpowder, he wouldn't have enough to blow his fucking nose. Well, I guess I'm gonna go take a shower now, Alyssa says. I smell like Edgar's trophy case of relationships. Alyssa. She felt the warm air in the house touch her skin, and then did a little dance routine. Then she hopped in the shower, closed the curtains. belly button. Meaty hands. Uncrustables peanut butter sandwich. Colin Kaepernick. Some leftover shampoo. Goosebumps. Rotten spider monkey. Yoga class. coconut oil. Give it to me, give it to me. Earth shattering. Back at Edgar's house. He was in his own room and biting his plastic Xbox controllers. He never reached the point of climax, however. He couldn't stop second guessing if Alyssa was telling the truth. Man, I wonder if there was a way to know if Alyssa was telling the truth for sure or not, Edgar said. Then, right after he said that, his bed started shaking violently. Before Edgar could get up off of his bed, however, the entire thing collapsed through the floor and into what seemed to be an endless void. Edgar fell for what felt like hours. He then suddenly hit the ground, and the bed fell apart underneath him into a bunch of pieces. Edgar seemingly suffered no injuries from the fall. Maybe I'm already dead, he asks himself. Edgar looks around and notices he is surrounded by a fairground-type place with several different tents around the area. He counts them out to see there are 7 different strange-looking tents in this sort of purgatory-feeling location. Edgar walks around the place all confused. He asks himself, where am I? Then all of a sudden, a crusty, dusty, dried-up sock comes out of one of the tents. "Yo, virgin!" he calls out to Edgar, talking like a sock puppet. "Who the hell are you?" Edgar asks, very frightened by the sight of a sentient talking sock. "I'm your old reliable left sock that you..." I know you're probably wondering how I'm able to talk, but it's because you're so friendzonia, and since no girl has ever touched your dick, I now have the ability to move around like a real boy, says Left Sock. And we definitely know your reputation is still intact. I don't know about that, Edgar says. Me and Alyssa have a hangout planned soon. She was just sick tonight, that's all. Oh, she had the flu, all right. A flu to have her. Let me show you the terrible truth, Left Sock tells Edgar as he takes him down to tent number 1. Once Left Sock opens tent number 1, there is this couple named Laura and Zach poker table really violently, but rather elegantly. Oh my God, that's Laura, Edgar says. She was my freshman high school crush. But who the hell are you? Edgar says, while pointing over in Zach's direction. Hello, my name is Zach. It's nice to meet you, Edgar Allen, Friendzone. I've known about your reputation here for a while now, ever since me and Laura started dating. What do you mean? Edgar says. Zach continues. Well, remember when you guys were on the freshman homecoming court together and Laura told you that she didn't feel good about going up on the stage in front of a lot of people? Well, actually, what she really wanted to do was go behind the bleachers and while you went up there with a different girl. And here's the plot twist. Soon after homecoming, when she said she was too tired, she actually went back to my place and sucked my esophagus tube like a fucking vacuum cleaner sucks the breadcrumbs out of my farts. Now, if you'll excuse me, Edgar, me and Laura are gonna get back to business and suck the printer ink. Left Sock then takes Edgar over to tent number 2. That's when they see another couple named Nadia and Chris, taking turns plucking each other's butt hairs like a ukulele. Who are you guys? Edgar says. You don't know us, Nadia says, but we both know you very, very well. You're the guy that gets curved like a damn crescent moon. In case you haven't noticed, we're both 16, and yes, we fuck already, and we fuck every day. How many times can you say you've done that, Mr. Edgar Allen Friendzone? Chris then flips Nadia over on her back. Take a look at this, Edgar. This right here is a pussy. You have a better chance of touching a T-Rex's foreskin than this, he says. Edgar and Left Sock then leave as they go over to tent number 3. Sitting in the tent is a young Muslim girl named Maeve. Edgar looks around confused since he doesn't recognize her at all. But when she says, Hello, Edgar, it's me, Maeve. Don't you remember me? All of the flashbacks hit him like a runaway train. A never-ending friendzone train of rejection and grief. Wow, you look different than back when I liked you, Edgar tells her. Well, yes, that's why I converted to Muslim. I am also now married to this Muslim guy. A tall Muslim man appears in Edgar's peripheral. We each do the Ramadan sex ritual every year. Unsure what it is? Easy. It's when I eat nothing Oh, yeah, and one more thing, Maeve tells Edgar as she leans in his ear and screams. We're just friends. This triggers Edgar's PTSD as he screams and runs out of the tent. Left Sock chases after Edgar and then tries to calm Edgar down. What the hell is going on around here? How are all these people here? Edgar cries out. Don't worry, we still have a very long and shameful way to go, loser, says Left Sock. Edgar sighs and follows Left Sock to tent number 4, where a very familiar redhead girl is waiting for him. Oh my god, Rachel, is that you? Edgar says. Well, 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 what do we have here? Says Rachel. Is that the weirdest behemoth I've ever seen? You look like a crossbreed between a retarded naked orangutan and a crunched hot pocket that was just ran over by a fucking Ford Focus. All Edgar can do is stand there in shock while he is being shit on by what once was another girl of his dreams. No wonder your nickname around here is Edgar Allan Friendzone. Every girl that stares at you gets their fucking eyes turned into ashes. You remind me of an NPC in a video game that shaves with a toothbrush and plucks the pube hairs out of his salad. This triggers Edgar's PTSD even harder as he again screams and runs out of the tent for a second time. I can't keep going, this is horrible, Edgar shouts. Left Sock calms him down for the second time and says, we must continue. It's the only way. Let's head over to the 5th tent. They walk over to tent number 5, where yet another familiar face is waiting for him. The one and only Kaylin, the majorette that rejected him in school last year. Ah! Kaylin screams as she pulls out a can of beer spray and sprays literally everything surrounding her in that tent. As both Edgar and Left Sock sprint out of the tent. Holy shit, dude. What did you do to piss that bitch off? Left Sock says. Well, let's just say that I'm an ugly motherfucker, Edgar tells him. Oh, hell yeah. Definitely. You look so disgusting. You're like a chameleon. Like you just got morphed with a lizard's ball sack. But enough of that. Let's go down to tent number 6, Left Sock says. In the tent was a man by the name of Big Puff Larry. Let me guess, Edgar says. You also know about me? You bet your friend-zoned virgin ass I do, says Larry. I'm going to tell you the biggest reason why every girl friend-zones your sorry ass. It's because you don't smoke any cigarettes. Every single guy out here that smokes that nicotine pack gets fucked like a sheep in the middle of a wolf farm. So I'm gonna say this to you, Edgar. If you want a girl to treat your micro penis like a stress ball in an anxious person's hand, start smoking cigarettes like a real man, Mr. Edgar Allan Friendzone. Get your smoke on. He then takes a puff of his cigarette, starts coughing violently, then passes out from exhaustion, hitting his head on the table, and dies. Edgar and Left Sock are left stunned and absolutely speechless about the catastrophe they just witnessed. Larry's head cracked wide open, blood gushing all throughout the tent. Edgar and Left Sock quietly walked to the last tent. Tent number 7. Inside, the most trippy of the tents so far. Mesmerized by what he is seeing, Edgar doesn't even notice the Grand Wizard sitting in the corner. A sign above this mysterious person reads, Reality check. Left Sock points over in the wizard's direction. Edgar, meet reality check. Left Sock tells Edgar, This wizard is going to tell you the terrible truths about you and Alyssa. Hence his name. Reality Check then rubs his magic crystal ball with his old, bony hands, and across reads a daunting poem. 93-3. Edgar is very confused by this and says, "Wait, who's Alex?" "Poor kid. It's already too late. He's too far gone. Who's gonna tell him?" says Reality Check. Then all of a sudden the ground starts to rumble. Edgar darts his eyes around, concerned about the sudden earthquake. It's not an earthquake, however. Edgar looks over at Reality Check as he opens up a portal and drops Edgar down to God knows where. "Thank God I don't have to look at his ugly ass anymore," says Left Sock. Edgar falls for a long 15 minutes through a portal, constantly yelling his past rejections at him. Edgar tries to plug his ears, but it doesn't stop him from hearing the constant shouting of, "No, we're just friends. Ew, gross." Then Edgar lands on an island unfamiliar to him. He looks around and notices the palm trees and a building with white and blue stripes on the exterior. He looks in the sky and watches a bunch of seagulls fly through the sky with the word Friendzone taped on all of their foreheads. "What the hell kind of island is this?" Edgar says to himself. Then, from around the back corner of the striped building, a big, hairless man with a dunce hat on his head starts running up towards Edgar with a tennis racket. As he gets close to Edgar, the big man then screams, "It's not rape if you like it." Then Edgar wakes up from his horrible nightmare. He looks at the clock on his phone. It's 12:30 a.m. and Edgar is sweating like a... Oh my God. Thank God that was all just a dream. That was the worst ever. And at the end there, they tried to tell me that Alyssa was with someone already. My worst nightmare, Edgar says. Right after he says that, he gets a call from Alyssa. Edgar starts to get an anxious feeling in his chest. He reluctantly answers the phone. "Hey, Edgar," Alyssa says. "I just wanted to clear the air so you don't get the wrong impression. I do not like you in any sort of romantic way. So don't ever call me again. Please. Unless you want to get your brains blasted out of your own skull. Have a wacky life, Edgar Allan Friendzone. I hope this message doesn't hurt you in any way, but it's the truth. Sorry," Alyssa says as she hangs up the phone. Edgar is left speechless and absolutely broken by this message. He depressingly gets up from his sweat-soaked bed and says, "Well, I guess that's it." He grabs a shotgun, points and shoots himself through the mouth, killing himself instantly. His head explodes and his brain mush splashes across the room. His lifeless body lays cold in the middle of his bedroom, and it stays there for hours and hours. Not a single person concerned, not a soul checking in to make sure he is okay. As if nobody cares. Friendzone forever. A few days after Edgar kills himself, Sam decides to go check on him after not hearing from Edgar in a while. When she arrives at the door, it is locked, so she has to climb in through his window. She makes her way around the house, checking each room, calling out for him. "Edgar, where are you?" Sam begins to assume the worst. She eventually makes her way to his bedroom. Yet, even after expecting to find him lifeless, she is very shocked by Edgar's dead body laying smack in the middle of the floor. An audible gasp leaves Sam's mouth as she stands there for 5 minutes of pure, utter shock, unsure of what to do. She then just shakes her head and says, I knew he was going to die a virgin.